Hey, everybody. This is Drake Miller, and I am so very excited to come to you today to introduce my podcast, Spiritual Conversations with Drake Miller. This is something that came to me a year ago almost. I was headed to a World Network of Prayer conference in Atlanta, Georgia, and God had been dealing with me on where He wanted me to go ministerially. And He dropped in me the idea of a podcast. He wanted me to share with you some of the thoughts that I have had, some of the words he has shared with me, even very fresh and constant words that the Lord has shown me, as well as the name implies, bring on some of my friends, family, mentors, and my pastor to discuss different topics that we believe that can help the church at large, things that we have caught ourselves talking about that we want to share those dialogues with you, as we believe that they're translational not just to us in our group or us in this church, but we believe that they are applicable to the church at large in our community. And so, before I tell you more about my burden for this podcast, I want to share with you a little bit about myself, where I'm from. So, I came to Athens, Georgia, which is where my church, Restoration Apostolic Church, is. I came here around 3 years ago as a new student at the University of Georgia. And I was looking for a church, and I could not find one where I was being fed the way I wanted to be fed, and I could not find one that really ministered the way that I was in need of. And I had almost given up hope of finding somewhere when my mom shared with me RAC, Restoration Apostolic Church. And the way she got me interested was she found their music program, and I love to sing. I've said it commonly. I would rather sing than I had eat when I'm hungry. I love to sing and I love to hear the ministry through song, and their program is beautiful. And so I came to visit, and the rest is history. I immediately connected with my pastor, Ed Walden, and Candy Walden. She has been such a wonderful mentor to me over the years. And if you were to share with me 3 years ago that I would be sitting at the church recording a podcast, getting ready to launch a ministry, I'm not sure as I would have believed you. But God has been so gracious in working on me and working through my mentors to see some much needed changes in my life. And I am forever thankful for the Lord for that. And for my content, for my burden for this podcast, there's a message that I have shared with many people over the past few weeks. And if you are very close to me in conversation, you are going to be tired of hearing this. But I believe that the church is in its third day. I believe that we are in the third day church. I believe it comes from the book of Hosea when the Lord said, in the third day, He will raise us up to live in His sight. And that was a prophecy to Israel, but it's very translational to the church today. And He is raising us up to live in His sight. And living in His sight is a place of prominence. It's a place of visibility. It's a place of influence. And it's also living in the glory of God. And I feel like that's where He's bringing us. I feel like the church has come through such a time of testing. We have been to Mount Moriah, which was Mount Test Me. We have been through the test. We have been to the river many times, but now it is our chance, it is our call to cross over the river, to live in the third day church. And this is why we are seeing the church rise to a place of prominence. We are seeing ministries birth. We're seeing the Lord calling people out to do the work of the Lord, because as my pastor's wife and wonderful mentor has said twice to me now, the time is now. And so it is my hope, with God's help, that I can show us where the church is. I can share with you words that the Lord is giving me, and I can bring on those people who are in covenant with the Lord that can help us navigate how to best live in the third day church. And so I have brought us this far, and I want to also share with you some nuts and bolts of my show. I will be releasing an episode every Monday, just about every Monday, because Mondays are normally hard. Mondays, you're coming off of the high of Sunday and you're met with circumstance, you're met with life, you're met with obstacles and problems, and you feel like life has ran you flat over by Monday evening. And so I want to release something on Mondays that can help us, that can encourage us, that can give us some teaching, give us some insight, so we are able to go through the rest of our week working on site with insight from what the word of the Lord has been from our own ministers and pastors, as well as the voices that we listen to throughout the week. And I thank you for allowing me to be incorporated into that wonderful list. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with listening to other voices and other people. I have learned some of my greatest lessons by listening to men and women who I will never have the opportunity to meet with in person, but they have taught me something. Their ministry has taught me something. And I hope it is my earnest and my genuine prayer that I can be that to someone else. And I want to do that on Monday evenings when we're feeling like all those promises and all those blessings from Sunday might not be so reachable. I want to come on and remind you that they are. And so every Monday, the word that the Lord has given me, the idea that God has allowed me to share with you, will be available on all major podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you found this episode. All the following episodes will be available. And so once again, I just want to thank my very close friends and family and pastor and mentors for supporting me, allowing me to see that this opportunity is not far-fetched, but it is attainable. And I really am praying that God will bless the words that go forth, bless the ministry that goes forth, and that I'm able to somehow help you. Just help you. That's what I want to do. And so until next time on Monday, when I come and talk to you about the church is here. That's the message I'll be sharing on Monday. The church is here. It is a message that will orient us with where we are on God's time clock. Because I heard a man of God say one time, it's a shame to be in the church and not know what God's doing, but it's a larger shame to be in the church, know what God's doing, and not be a part of it. So I want to bring a message that orients us with where we are as a church and orient us with where we are as a people, so we can better live in that time. But until then, may God bless you, and I will talk to you then. Thank you.